Hello everyone and welcome. If you are here, you are probably experiencing some things and you're probably wondering if they are normal or not. And they're probably a little bit spooky, a little bit woo-woo, and maybe it's not scary all the time, but I am here to kind of talk about the common signs of our psychic abilities. So welcome. If you are new here, my name is Lauren, and on my channel here I teach everybody how to develop and strengthen their psychic abilities. We'll get to that at the end of this video, but I really wanted to get into the heart of why a lot of you probably found this video, and that is probably because you're experiencing some things, or maybe somebody told you that you were psychic, or maybe you kind of had the ability at one time and it's just not there anymore, and you're kind of wondering, oh, well, am I a fluke? Did I just not get the gift? Did I miss out? Or maybe you don't have any signs or symptoms, but you really want to learn how to develop those intuitive abilities because you think it's cool. Or maybe you're having a little bit more of the not wanting it to happen. Maybe it's kind of getting into an overwhelming state, or maybe you want to learn how to make it more reliable, come in when you want it to. So we're going to get to all of that in this video. But first, let's talk about the common signs of the intuitive ability. Maybe you feel like you can talk to plants or trees or nature in some sort of way. Maybe you feel like objects are kind of moving around you, either now or maybe when you were a kid. When you were a kid, maybe you had an imaginary friend, or you were really scared of the boogeyman at night. Maybe you had a lot of dreams that felt really, really real, or maybe even now have a lot of dreams that feel really, really real. People who are psychic are also creative, imaginative. Maybe you feel like you kind of think outside of this reality that we are in. Maybe you feel like you had a past life, or as a child you talked about having a past life. Maybe you often feel like you hear your name being called. Maybe you have lots of bouts of deja vu. Or maybe some people in your family are intuitive or psychic. Another sign of the psychic sense is being sensitive to odors, smells, sounds, taste, touch, all of it. Maybe you're easily overwhelmed or overstimulated. Maybe in crowds you really feel uncomfortable. You might be on the introverted side, though that's not like a hard and fast rule. Sometimes as a kid, intuitive or sensitive people are slow to warm up to new folks. Maybe when you enter a room, you kind of feel the atmosphere. You know who's there. You know if it's like good energy or bad energy. Maybe now or as a child, there's a specific place that you did not want to go, did not want to touch because it felt uncomfortable or not right. This could go for people as well. Maybe there are certain people that you just refused to be around, but you didn't exactly know why. You just had a bad feeling. Intuitive people can be very sensitive to other people's emotions. Maybe you're highly aware of how other people feel and think. Maybe you are worried about what they feel and think, and you might drift into people-pleasing tendencies. You could have had a hard time too as a child because of all of that sensitivity. Maybe you were a little bit more emotional. Maybe you have a hard time letting go of those emotions, letting go of other people's emotions, either when you were little or now. Another sign is being able to read other people's minds. You just know what like a friend or a family member is thinking before they say it. Maybe you have an awareness of a family member or friend if like something's going on with them. You just kind of know. Maybe you know when something is not right with them, or even when somebody is sick. When you're alone in a room, maybe you kind of feel like you're not the only one there. There's like a sense of fullness to it. Or just anywhere. Sometimes you might just have this feeling that you are not the only one there. Maybe you felt like you've been touched before, but no one was there. Maybe as a child you recognized family members in old photos. Maybe you were able to say something about them, about their personalities that you wouldn't have known. Maybe you often copy, other people's energy. And kind of do the same things that they do. Animals or young kids could also be like very interested in you or like attracted to you and want to hang around you. Maybe you can see or feel the energy of a room like with your hands or with your eyes as if almost there's a color to it. Maybe you have very active dreams where you have lucid dreams, or you're very just aware that you are dreaming. Or maybe you've just had some like straight up psychic spooky experiences where you were maybe connected with a spirit. Sometimes you just get like a download of information. You don't know how you knew it, but you just knew. Another sign is knowing something is going to happen before it happens, whether that kind of comes into your mind while you're awake or while you're dreaming. Maybe you can sense other people's auras. It's almost like they have a bubble or a field or a color around them. They have a certain feeling to that energy. Maybe you see things out of the corner of your eye. You might hear things that don't feel quite like you. Now, there is a difference between mental disorders, and if you are wondering if that is maybe something you're experiencing, go check out the video that I've linked up above to make sure that that's not the case, because the psychic ability is definitely different than schizophrenia and some other mental disorders. You might feel sensations in your body that just aren't yours. Now, I hate saying this one, but it happens. Maybe you feel like you know when someone is about to die, or maybe that they're about to have a baby, or even the sex of their baby, and you just knew. If you've dreamed that a family member or a pet that has passed has visited you, that's a sign of the psychic ability as well. If you feel like you can talk to your pets, that you know what they're thinking and saying, that's also the psychic ability. So if you've experienced any of these things, even if it's just one, you're psychic. You're intuitive. You have that intuitive ability. And spoiler alert, everyone does. Everyone has the intuitive ability. If anyone ever asks me like, oh, I experienced this thing, am I psychic? Or do I have that gift? Am I intuitive? Could I do what you do? I'm always like, default, yes, absolutely. And that is because I personally believe, and honestly, I feel like it's almost a fact at this point with the amount of people that I've seen learn and grow their psychic abilities from the ground up. It is something that everyone has access to. It is not a gift that's chosen for a select few. It is like a muscle, and the more you strengthen that muscle, the stronger it gets. It is something that if you neglect it, it can get a little bit rusty. Think about it like riding a bike. The more often you ride a bike, you're going to learn how to use it. You're going to be really good at it. But if you neglect, riding it and you're trying to get back on and you're just like, how do I do this? You're going to be a little bit rusty, but anyone can get back into it. Anyone can start it. There might be some people who are naturally a little bit more intuitive from the get-go. I have a whole video on that. But if you're wondering if you're psychic, the answer is yes. Everyone is psychic. Everyone is intuitive. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but they are skills, they are abilities that can be strengthened. Really, it comes down to how psychic are you at the current moment? How intuitive are you? And really, we like to think of this as a spectrum. With one end being like, oh, not so practiced, you have no idea, no control, you're maybe aren't even sure what's psychic, what's not. But then the more you learn and the more practice you get, the more accurate it becomes, the easier and more reliable it is. It comes when you want it to. And then it gets to a point where you've practiced it so much that you can sit down, expect answers, and get them when you want them. And so if you're wanting to strengthen those skills, if you're wanting to push forward, then you can use psychic development exercises. You can learn about psychic abilities. And I'm your resource here. That is what my channel is all about. If you just want to stick around, peruse my Start Here channel, and you can get started. Now, I think the other question that I don't get asked, but I think people wonder is well, why should I bother? Sure, everyone is psychic. Why should I even deal with it? And you don't have to. Again, I'm going to get into how you can turn it off if it's just not your cup of tea. But I think a lot of people think, oh, well, if I strengthen this, then I have to learn how to be psychic and read other people. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to read other people. It does not have to become your full-time job. No. There are so many reasons that strengthening your psychic ability, I think, can help. And I think it's important to understand as you get into it why you want to do it. And so some of the reasons why people want to strengthen it is to feel more connected to the divine, their spiritual team, whatever they believe in, the universe. Especially because the psychic ability is an ability, it's not connected to any religion. So you can use it to connect to, again, anything that you believe in: God, the universe, spirit guides, angels. So using it to become more spiritual, I think, is such a huge plus. Other people just use it to basically help them make day-to-day decisions. I feel like ever since I learned how to use my psychic ability, I told my husband, there's no way I would ever be able to just turn this off, forget about it, and not ever use it. It has made my life so much clearer, so much guided. Like, I don't want it to sound frou-frou, but like anytime I have stresses, anytime I don't know what to do, I have something I can fall back on to make decisions, to get guidance on the next steps. I feel like it has helped me get out of a career that I didn't want to be in. It has helped me with anxiety. It has helped me spiritually. It has helped me set more boundaries with people. It has helped me manifest new things that I want in my life. To me, it just feels like such an essential part of me. It's almost like, how could I not keep using it, if that makes sense? But some other ways that people like to use it is they like to be able to connect to their loved ones in spirit, deceased relatives or pets. You don't have to go down the mediumship route if you don't want to, but you can. A lot of people might use their psychic abilities to help them with their careers or at their jobs, to kind of make more intuitive decisions and balance that, analytical versus non-analytical side of their work. A lot of people also use it to better their health. There's a lot of crossover between like body work and Reiki and all of that stuff that really can be aided by your intuition. A lot of people just use their intuition to get more creative, to create things that they want to from a more intuitive place. Maybe at the minimum, you just want to balance that left brain, that analytical side of yourself, with the more right brain intuitive side. And I mean, heck, maybe you do want to become a psychic. Maybe you want to just read your friends and family, or just like a small group. Or maybe you want to become a professional psychic and make it like your full-time thing. I also help with that in my courses, by the way. So there's a ton of reasons why. Let me know in the comments down below why you want to strengthen it, because I think I know why I wanted to, but everyone's different, and I'm so curious, and I love hearing your stories of why you want to strengthen it more. Now, I completely understand if this is not something that you want to develop or strengthen. You do not have to. I've gotten some mean comments saying that, how dare I teach people how to do this? You do not have to. If you don't feel protected, if you don't feel safe, if it's not working for you, you don't have to. You don't have to be psychic. You don't have to use these abilities. You don't have to learn how to ride a bike. You don't have to learn how to knit. It's totally up to you. So if you're wanting to learn how to stop it, I do have a whole video on kind of how to shut it down. So jump on over there. However, for the majority of people, I feel like on my channel, they want to learn how to strengthen it. They want to learn how to develop it. And really that just comes down to practice. You have to practice, just like with any other skill. And so there's all sorts of techniques and exercises that you can do. Just learning about it can help strengthen it, educating yourself. So here on my channel, I try to give you all of the above. So feel free to start on my Start Here channel and go off on little tangents, find other videos that I've made, really dive into something. Feel free to ask me questions, and I will try to get back to you and help point you in the right direction. And if you aren't sure where to start, the next video I would actually recommend is learning about all the different types of psychics or intuitives out there, because you can really take your ability so many different directions. You could use it to learn how to communicate with animals. You can learn how to communicate with people who have passed. You can do body work. So there's a lot of different avenues you can take. So that video might give you a good idea of where you could start and how you can learn. And just know, here on my channel, I offer readings. I offer coaching sessions that are one-on-one or bundled. I also have video courses to kind of walk you through all of this. So if you like my style, sign up for those courses. We also have a Facebook psychic development group, so you can practice with other people. So here on my channel, I hope I am a resource for all your psychic development needs. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps my channel a ton, and I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, everyone. Bye.